I think his father was named Malcolm Carr. And see, he owned all this right up in here. All that. Now there was a guy that owned this right in here called Zachariah Canty. And below here was Charles Duke's brother, William Dukes, or son of William Dukes. Either one. So all this part of the property was William Dukes. And this part of the property here, around here, belonged to William Carr. So one thing led to another. Matter of fact, to understand, this cemetery was kind of out of that area there. The cemetery wasn't put there. No one buried there till like 1889. Not unless my great grandfather was buried there first, but there's no marker for that. There's nothing to show that he's buried there. But that's pretty cool. And so he married a Carr, and not a car, for a room. He married Mary Caroline Carr, and I'm supposing some of this property here became theirs and what have you, and pieces of this, and there were some pieces that were bought later on. This part right here was part of my family's property that was bought later on by a couple of brothers who were sons of James and Mary Caroline Carr Holladay. And eventually it got its shape as we see it today, like that. Families selling pieces of property to other people, people selling this property to that person, this and that, and other that person. Eventually, that's how this plantation, I like to call it a plantation, that plantation got its shape. In other words, it kind of reminds you of a boot, don't it? Now this right here, at one time, was it was a separation line. This part never really got separate. There were lands that were owned by Holladays on this side, probably a little bit, and lands, there was property over here that Holladays owned. Now, whenever my great grandfather died, neighbor Harvin Holladay, and then his wife died, there were lands given to my great grandfather neighbor, which consisted of this and everything, and land a little bit here, a little bit there. And he had a brother, and everything, and he had some lands on this part. He also owned what is now Pine Knoll subdivision. He owned that, James Dunwoody Holladay. And then so one thing led to another. One person died here, one person died there, and then eventually my great grandfather Andrew Mitchell Holladay ended up owning this, and some others ended up owning this. My great grandmother ended up owning this side with her daughter. A little bit of that added into. And then eventually, they passed away, and they gave it to my willed it to my or sold it, willed it, whatever, to my uncle Milton Holladay, Milton Ravenel Holladay. And my granddad got this side here from his father, Andrew, and he got into my great uncle got this side, my granduncle rather. And eventually, my granddad needed to build a house and stuff, and the one they had here got a little dilapidated, so they had to go for an FHA loan and stuff like that, and build the house. And he had to borrow some money. The only way he can borrow money is not directly from the bank. He borrowed it from actually what he did, he sold my grandfather sold my uncle this land here so he can get a house built. And so eventually all this became one piece of property. 168 acres. All of this right here. Don't mean to make it all about that, but there's other things that I'm probably going to add later on about that. And But it just, I don't have nothing else to go on. I mean, I could, talk about other people's properties too and stuff like that. But this is something I kind of know and it's close to my heart as a family thing. But anyway, that's that for right now. And concerning like holidays of Ox Swamp, particularly my grandfather Thomas Holladay and his father Andrew, his father Neighbor, and his father James. So thanks for watching. If you do watch, and if not, I hope you find it. I hope you tune in and find it interesting. You can watch some and whatever. Peace.